Just want to talk about the terminal velocity. Now, the terminal velocity is the absolute maximum speed or velocity that you can go. Now, this happens in two situations. It happens in one situation. It happens basically, like the ways of finding it is when the acceleration equals zero. Because when the acceleration equals zero, you'll be going at your maximum velocity. So you think about it. It occurs when you drop something from the sky or something's falling. It'll get faster and faster and faster until it will reach its maximum velocity, which is your terminal velocity. It'll actually approach the terminal velocity. VT. That's what I meant to put there. Okay, so the other thing too, if you make time go on to infinity and you look at what the velocity will actually approach, this will be your terminal velocity. And that it can often be fine because a lot of these end up being like e functions. And if you have e to minus f of t, as time goes to infinity, that will be 1 over e to the f of t. And the bottom gets bigger and bigger, so the whole fraction approaches 0. And this helps you to be able to find the absolute largest value for your velocity, which is your terminal velocity. So just as an example, okay, so a particle falls, mass m, resistant force F. Resistant force is F, and it's going to equal, first we're going to do part 1 where it is mkv. So if something is falling, it would have its weight force mg, positive is going down, so that would be positive. The resistance force is minus nkv, and that would be negative because it's going the other direction. So mass times acceleration equals the sum of the forces. The m cancels, so you get acceleration equals minus kv plus g. When the acceleration equals 0, minus kv plus g equals 0. That means that g equals kv, and if you divide by k, you get v equals g on k, which is the terminal velocity. Now, if we did exactly the same thing, but instead we have our acceleration equals minus kv squared plus g, because our formulas with the v is just got v squared, then when the acceleration is 0, then minus kv squared plus g equals 0. So g equals kv squared. So v squared is g on k, and v will be equal to the square root of g on k. Now just say we have the displacement is equal to 8 minus 8e to the minus xt. Okay, if you're asked for the terminal displacement, then you just make time go into infinity, so that'll be x minus 8 over e to the 4t. The bottom here gets bigger and bigger, so this part goes to 0, so x will approach 8. And if you have the velocity is 12 minus 4e to the minus 3t, as time goes to infinity, the velocity will approach 12 minus 4 on e to the 3t. The bottom gets bigger, so the whole fraction will go towards 0. So the velocity will approach 12 minus 0, which will give you 12 meters per second squared.